Lippitt, owner of the Hill Street Group and host of Communication is an Art, the podcast. I'm a communication strategist, a public speaker, and a leadership trainer. Most weeks, I'll be joined by other communication specialists, but every few weeks, you'll hear from just me to equip you, the listener, with practical tools and strategies to navigate through your day with confidence. These podcasts are always non-scripted and conversational. So let's dive into this together. Hi, it's Pam Lippitt. Today is a day I didn't think I'd be talking about this topic on a podcast, but I'll share my experience so that maybe you learn, because I'm all about how you talk to people, especially in stressful situations. So I'll just give you a little backstory. My American Express, my personal one, was compromised. Someone tried to take out a loan, so that got stopped. Thank you, American Express. And then I have a new card. Okay. Then someone apparently ordered lots of computers off Amazon that got charged to my business card. That's me taking a deep breath. For those who know me, know I'm a Dell girl. Dell is not giving me any props for mentioning them, but their pro support is amazing. And I not always, but I have, my last 3 computers have been Dell's because of their pro support. So I recommend it, even though I'm not getting anything, though. If Dell wants to send me something, I'm available. So that got stopped. That card got replaced. Then I all of a sudden found out that this is really weird, that someone took money out of a credit card and it came to my bank account. I guess it's like a phishing technique, but then they're going to go in and find all my money to empty it out. That led to me having to change all my bank accounts. So a number of things happen, but I want to talk to you about it from the communication perspective. I always talk about remaining calm, having a list, preparing what you're going to say, figuring things out in advance. And I will say this was the perfect example, because I have kept track of everything that happened. I've made a police report at this point. So I also had to know how to write out what had happened in a succinct manner that was going to fit on the 1-page report, but get the attention of the detective at the police department for a number of reasons. The computers were sent to an actual address, probably about 15 miles away from me, but somewhere I've never lived. So I found that being kind to the people, I know that being kind to the people you are talking to, as opposed to getting so lost in your own thoughts and so panicky, only helps you. And I'm going to give you an example of this. When I walked into the bank on Friday, because I have to change again all my bank accounts and all my information and all my stuff, it was 4:00 in the afternoon. The bank closes at 5. And I could tell that the agent the bank officer didn't really want to start something new that late, but she gave a big hello to someone else. Now, I don't ever go inside the bank. Do we go inside the bank? I don't really need to. I do everything online. Maybe that's the problem. But I just looked at her and I said, I hope by the end of our conversation, you smile at me and say, hello, like you did to this other guy who walked in the bank. And it broke the tension. And she kind of laughed. And I sat down and I explained what was going on. She had to call her internal line to the fraud department. It was a whole thing. I was there for over an hour. About halfway through, she said to me, I know you're you're insane over this, but you have such a good attitude. It is great working with you. And I thought to myself, that's the point. You want someone else to say it's great working with you, even in such a stressful moment. By the end of the conversation, she offered to give me a LinkedIn review. So we're going to get to that when I get back to the bank, probably later today, because I have still more things to do. But, all these things, all these pieces, this has been taking me hours. So, and I now have fraud protection on all my cards. I have everything blocked. I have credit reports blocked. I have everything done I needed to do. One of the things that I think is the most important is whoever you're talking to, ask them what else you should do, because they have helped other people along the way. And for you, for me, this was a first time attack on my person. I really felt like I was personally being attacked. I understand why they call it ID theft, because I really feel it was a theft not only on my accounts, but on my soul. This has taken so much out of me. I know you could, maybe if you're watching this, you can see. If you're listening, you can hear the smile in my voice. You can always hear the smile in someone's voice. Don't you think so? Okay, that was a little offside, but that's an important thing. You have to really be able to have a smile, have faith that the person you're talking to is going to help you. And I have to say, through this, to a person, everyone has been kind and helpful. And I think it's a reflection on the fact that I didn't get stressed out. I used to be a really stressful flyer. I don't mean a stressful flyer in terms of getting on the plane and being nervous. I was never nervous to fly, but I don't like landing, but I never mind flying. But I learned ages ago, after a specific thing, that there is no point in being annoyed with the person at the desk. In fact, if anything, I go out of my way to be kind to the person at the desk, to stop talking and let them do their work. And it was the same on all these calls I had to make and all these things I have to change. I had to stop talking and let them explain. And, I've talked, I think, before about the power of the pause, letting somebody else into the conversation, especially someone who knows what they're doing. And, at the end of the day, they have this job because they're here to help you. So this is just a really short piece that I thought I would throw in today, that I never thought I would throw in today. But I just want to tell you that it's real. I now know how important it is to get an alert every time a credit card is used. I know that sounds crazy, doesn't it? But I have now set up my credit card so every time I make a purchase, there is an alert. And yes, the text will be annoying, and yes, I'll have to delete it. But I will know if I didn't make a purchase. I mean, I kind of know. The thing that happened at my credit card was actually while I was sleeping. So there's that. So just if you find yourself in a stressful situation, I guess that's really the takeaway I hope you take away from this little talk is that when you find yourself in a stressful situation, the best thing to do is to back out. If you don't have time to count to 10, count to 5. If you don't have time to count to 5, count to 3. Take some deep breaths, figure out what you're going to say. Maybe even if it's in a stressful work environment, just say, oh, I just have to walk out of the room and collect my thoughts for a minute. There is such power in doing that. The power belongs to you, folks. It belongs to your voice, and you get to control it and control your actions, which will in turn control the outcome and how people deal with you. So that's my message for the day. Be strong, watch your credit cards, make sure you've got all the protections you need available to you. And if you get in this situation like I did, take a deep breath, count to 10, and walk out of the room, which is exactly what I had to do. Thank you much. And again, this is Pam from the Hill Street Group. Just a little tease, I'm about to rebrand, and you'll be hearing about that shortly. So have a good day, everyone, and don't get in the position I'm in now. Thanks so much. Hi, this is Pam Lippitt from the Hill Street Group. Thank you for listening to Communication is an Art. Make sure you subscribe and continue to listen. We really appreciate it. Share with your friends all those different lovely things. And we will be back soon. Have a great day.